A few years ago, when I was selling screens and parts via the other company, I was selling screens and small cell phone and laptop repair parts to retail clients, wholesale clients, all types of companies. And there was this one particular broker that I was interested in dealing with because he wanted to buy hundreds upon hundreds of a part that I had sitting in the basement that I had bought too many of because of a grave business error on my part. And I sell, and it went easy. And then he wanted a different part. And this one, since I noticed the company he was going to, I did a little bit of research on it. This is a company that has a ridiculous amount of money. And I knew if they were going to this particular middleman, that particular middleman was going to be charging them like 2 times what I was charging him. So I know that there's really no point for me to do whatever, all this crap that happens with LCDs on eBay. What I'm talking about is where people are buying 15.6-inch PC screens from Taipei for $36 and then selling them on eBay for like $48 and free shipping. This was not that type of marketplace where you're making pennies at all. There was good money involved here. So I was selling these parts to this company, and they were sending way too many of them back. Not half of them, but more than they should have. I understand if I sold you grade A- stuff. I understand why you would send it back, but this wasn't the case. Nor was I selling, the screens that go in Apple products, like with the Retina, where all that's available on the market is crap that somebody, dumped out the back of a warehouse and snuck out that way because Apple doesn't want people having these parts. It wasn't that kind of shit at all. What this was a part that is not hidden. It's a standard LG part. There's really no reason that a broker can't find it. So I was buying these parts, grade A+, top of the line, expensive ones, because I knew I was charging enough where I wouldn't have to care. So I was kind of confused as to why all this stuff was coming back. I decided to go visit my dad, and he actually lived in the area of this company. So I figured if I'm going to go visiting my dad, if I'm making a flight there, I might as well say, you know what, let's meet this company. Not just because I was interested in cutting out the douchebag middleman, because that was also one thing I wanted to do, but I also kind of wanted to solve this problem. Why is it that you are sending back so much stuff, and when I get this stuff back, I don't have any issue with it? So I decide I'm going to visit the company, and oh man, this company it just puts everything in this dumpy ass little repair business to shame. Like, this building they must have had a minimum of 200,000 square feet. They have their own parking lot. They own their own building. They have their own property everywhere. It's just beautiful. You walk in and there's a huge space. There's a receptionist ready to greet you in this huge lobby area. I go to walk in and there's a floor with, it has to have been at least 35,000 square feet, just where I walked in initially. And they had all these separations on the floor with clean rooms, with people walking around in lab coats, with, high-tech stuff everywhere. These people are engineering new products. They're designing new products. A lot of this was going into devices being used in the medical field. So, far more important than the laptop, cell phone crap that we deal with. And I decide to walk, and I go, okay, can you show me where you're testing the LCDs? Can you show me what's going on here? And I walk over to the table. I walk over there with my white, short sleeve, $5 Hanes shirt, and probably these beige pants that I have on now. Nothing special. And I'm not dressed professionally. I am walking up to these people, master's degrees, PhDs, experts in engineering that are trying to innovate, create new products for the world. And, here I am, fucking 72 average throughout high school. I again, hole in the wall, fucking business owner. Like, your bathroom is probably bigger than my entire store. One of these machines on this table probably costs more than the contents of my bank account. And I walk up to the table to see where they're testing the screens, and I say, okay, can you show me one of the ones that was bad? And he shows, and he points to a little dot on it, and he says, look, there's a stuck pixel. And what I do is I walk over to the table, and I go, no, that's a piece of dust. And he looks at it, and he's like, oh. And then I go, can you show me another one? So he brings me another screen, and he puts it on the table, and he goes, look, there's a scratch. And then I do this. Watch this. No, that's a screen protector. And again, this is one of those defining moments in life where I realized that there is absolutely no reason to be intimidated or afraid whenever you walk into a room in the tech profession. Because when you're walking into a room to fix a problem, you need to have this general confidence in your head that something is wrong, something is out of how it's supposed to be. And I'm the person who's going to figure it out. The buck stops with me. We are going to figure out what's wrong here. It's not going to be that something is wrong with my product, or that I'm inadequate, or that I am unable to solve the problem, or that I'm not going to know what I'm doing, or these people are going to realize that they're more qualified than me, and why did they even have this dumbass get sent out here? I don't want you to have all that insecure crap, because a big problem that a lot of people seem to have in this business is they just seem afraid to just sit in the chair and try to solve a problem. They seem afraid to actually go out there and get their hands dirty and meet with people and talk and just come up with these common sense solutions to problems, because they feel like they don't have the experience yet. They don't have the qualifications yet. They don't have the education yet. You know what? I don't have the qualifications, the experience, or the education probably to be a receptionist at this company. But you know what I was able to figure out that their entire engineering department couldn't? That's dust, not a stuck pixel. That's a screen protector, not a fucking scratch. And it just came from walking in a calm state and going, listen, I know that my product is good. I know that the stuff I'm getting back works. So let me just walk in and see what's going on here. And you have a little bit of the condescending attitude. You can tell that when I'm meeting with the director of engineering that he's kind of looking like, man, why did they send this schmuck here? And at the end of it, joke's on them. Your entire engineering department can't tell the difference between an LCD defect and a piece of fucking skin that probably fell off of somebody and turned to dust and landed on the screen. Because here's the thing. So you, with your entire clean room and engineering bullshit mindset, are thinking, since you're in such a perfect environment, that you can take the screen and put it down flat to test it. So what you're missing is the basic thing that Isaac Newton figured out hundreds of fucking years ago, which is gravity, which is that the dust in the air is going to fall and it's going to land on your screen because gravity force downward. Whereas now about 4 years ago, myself and my friend John were building these LCD assemblies, and we were selling them to a few companies that were actually dealing with Best Buy. So most people like me, we don't want to deal directly with people like Best Buy because not only are you guys losing a ton of money, and I don't want to be involved with business models that lose money, but B, they have these ridiculous terms like, we want 90 days to return anything we don't want, including stuff that our own Geek Squad technicians fucked up. No. We deal with a middleman. And that middleman then rapes Best Buy, and that's why Best Buy rapes you when it comes to pricing. But we were selling these display assemblies. We were actually building them, A1278 and A1286 assemblies by hand. We were not doing it in a clean room. And we never had dust. And I know it's hard to believe this if you're not in a clean room, but you didn't see dust under any of the stuff that he was building, particularly John. He was really good at this. So we're building these display assemblies. And one day we noticed something. If you lay the display assembly flat on the desk, dust will fall onto it. But if you do all the work on the display assembly with it up like this, since gravity goes this way and gravity doesn't go this way, you will have less dust to clean off. You will have less dust to worry about. So when we're testing, when we're building, when we're working on these things, we had a basic rule for ourselves that if it wasn't closed, it stayed like this. Or like this. This was even better because gravity moves down. Gravity does not move up, so no dust would ever get on the assembly. So if we were working on it, and it was like, if we go to troubleshoot something that's going wrong with it, we would simply, instead of laying it down on the desk like some again, engineering fucktard that lacks practical world experience is going to do, that's in his little suit looking down on me because I'm dressed in my $5 Hanes t-shirt with my, college dropout look on my face. What I'm going to do is do it like this, so that when I walk away to the bathroom, all the dust fell away on the top of the screen, which is a part that's closed where I don't care about it, and it's not going to enter the LCD. Again, this is basic fucking common sense. And what I want you to realize is that you should never be afraid when you're walking into a new tech situation. You should never be afraid when you're walking into a room with people who you perceive to be above you, who you perceive to know better than you, who you think may be more experienced or just in general better than you. Because what you have to realize is that you have something to offer, and you have something to offer that maybe those people don't know. And everybody builds these situations up in their mind to be the worst possible thing it can be. Everybody builds it up to be this terrible, terrible thing where it's like, these people know more than me. They have more resources than me. They have more experience than me. What do they want out of me? Oh my God, they're going to expect that I'm so much smarter than them. I'm not. They're going to be so disappointed when I show up and I probably can't fix their problem and that I know less than them. And then they're going to wonder why I'm even building them. And then they're going to wonder, why does we even use this guy? And it's just so melodramatic and silly and stupid. And it's a question that also deals with, something that happens in my neighborhood. People will go, listen, you're editing these videos on a laptop. You openly claim that you carry your laptop around at night in a bad neighborhood. Doesn't this kind of worry you? And my answer has always been no. Like, aren't you afraid that somebody that's really good at martial arts is going to come up to you and kick your ass and beat you and take your laptop? Aren't you afraid that one of these people may be bigger than you or stronger than you or quicker than you? And, what I usually say to that is, well, the people who know martial arts, to be successful at martial arts, you need a great level of personal discipline. On average, the people who have a great level of personal discipline are people who understand how to make a basic living in their own lives because they carry that discipline in other areas of their lives, and that helps them be more successful. That is the type of success that allows them to spend $600 on a laptop, which means that they may not necessarily have to steal mine at 1 a.m. And the same, it was even true when discussing guns. People have said, because I've seen people walking around my neighborhood, 1 or 2 in the morning. You'll see these stupid kids do stupid shit with like pulling up their shirt and they're showing their gun if you say the wrong thing. And again, you're going to think, well, that person has a gun. Aren't they going to kill me? What if they shoot me? They have a gun. That means that they're more capable of violence, and they'll be able to, and I won't be able to defend myself. And they're going to come up to me and they're going to take my stuff, and I shouldn't be walking here. And what I'll think is, well, I don't feel like I have to carry a gun because I'm not scared. I have confidence in myself. I know who I am. I'm not trying to prove myself to anybody in front of my friends. So, I know who I am. I am not nervous. I don't feel like I need to prove myself. I don't have any of that insecurity deep down inside of me. And because of that, I'm not afraid of you. You are insecure. You are nervous. You're carrying a gun so that your friends can think you're cool. You care what other people think, which makes you weak. You are thinking that you're afraid that somebody may be able to hurt you, which is why you got to carry around that little thing. I'm not afraid of you, piece of shit. If you try to lift your shirt up and pull that thing and shoot me with it, I'm going to take that thing and fuck you with it before you even get within 2 feet of me. And again, you got to walk around with that mindset. I'm not saying that you have to walk around with big balls down to the floor and have this ultra level of arrogance all the time. But the point is, people always assume the worst of themselves and the best of everybody else. I think you should always assume the best of the world. I always think you should assume positive, happy things. But at the same time, I don't want all of you to be assuming the worst of situations because you think other people are better than you. I don't want your assumptions of the best for other people to interfere with your ability to interface with the world. I don't want you to be intimidated by the world. I don't want you to be afraid to walk into rooms. I don't want you to be afraid to do the things that you need to do in tech to be successful because you think that other people are more qualified than you. Because you think that if other people haven't figured it out, then how can I? Again, I am a jackass high school dropout who solders like a 6-year-old. And how many people are sending motherboards that they can't solve to me for me to solve them? Like, really? I mean, you shouldn't have that mindset that other people must be better than me because they have more education, because they have more experience, because all that crap is just crap. And when I was a kid, I wasn't really sure of it. Because again, I started in tech, 9 years old, modding PlayStations to play copy games. And I have been told by so many people there are so many things that I'm just not going to be good at because I'm too young and I don't have the experience and I don't have the education. And as a 9-year-old, I'm like, you know what? I'm pretty sure that's bullshit, but I don't know for sure. At 17, I'm like, I'm damn sure that's bullshit, but I'm young. At 26, I know that's bullshit. I've walked into enough rooms with enough people that knew more than me. I've walked into enough bodegas where somebody smiled at me and did that little thing where they're implying that, like if I don't blow them and give them my laptop that they're going to shoot me, to know that I ain't got nothing to worry about. And neither do you.